Hello and welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. I am going to be talking about the new Justin Bieber album today. So, it's New Music Friday. We're doing it a little bit different. Usually I like to listen to smaller, newer artists or just people I'm not familiar with. People that other people may not be familiar with. But I have been sort of hanging up my hat in that area of focus recently, and I've been tackling kind of bigger, newer releases, which has been frankly a little bit scarier for me because I find that with the bigger, newer releases, I maybe have a little bit more critical commentary as opposed to kind of just being like, oh my god, this new album, never heard of this artist, so obsessed, can't wait to follow the career of this artist, diving into the lyricism of like an indie songwriter, stuff like that. Whereas, I don't know, just looking at music that has more eyes on it and more opinions on it, I don't know. The opportunity to be more and more wrong, loudly so, on the internet is daunting. All of that being said, I was a belieber, tried and true, as a kid, and I have fallen off. I would say that I have not listened to Justin Bieber, an album in its entirety, probably since I was a believer when I was like 8. But this one was just too enticing. And I would say I am a healthy dose of chronically online. So I have been following some of the Bieber headlines, of course, the Hailey Bieber headlines. I'm pretty well acquainted with a lot of the speculation and drama that follows everything. I'm not going to talk about any of that today because I don't think it's relevant to this album at all. But I want to lead with, I listened to this album, did not expect it to be my cup of tea, but kind of wanted to see how things are. Like, I think it's good to sit down and listen to something that's not your cup of tea. And I really loved the album, actually. I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm not going to do as in-depth a deep dive as I normally do. I'm not going to go song for song, but I'm going to talk about the highlights, I guess. And I'm going to read bits and pieces of the Pitchfork article I read about it, because I like to do my research and I found it interesting. So this is a Pitchfork article from today, of course, by Jude Noel. And I'm just going to pull little quotes from it. Through recording sessions for Swag, let's roll that back. Sorry. I was not prepared for popcorn read, apparently. Though recording sessions for Swag reportedly concluded in April, it's not unlikely that its sudden release was influenced by the cultural ubiquity of his awkward and appropriative yet admittedly iconic catchphrase, "It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business," levied at paparazzi in mid-June. Best to unlock the swag while the iron's hot. Despite its title, however, Swag is free of any sounds even vaguely reminiscent of the ringtone era, which I thought was, well, I found it to be very true. But yeah, kind of the name Swag makes no sense to me, if I'm being totally honest, but you can name the album something stupid, if the rest of the album is good. And I like the album, so name it whatever. And I do think it's kind of fun. I love the font. The aesthetic of it is pretty hard to get wrong, considering it's like gray, pretty serif font on black. It looks like the Prada logo. Stupid name, but I don't know, the work speaks for itself. It's like no secret, Bieber, I mean, he's like savant level a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, I haven't been tuned in for a bit, but like he's talented. He is so talented. So But okay, instead, he's enlisted producers Eddie Benjamin and Carter Lang to provide much of the record's 80s inspired reverb laden backing, tapping MK.G and Dijon to lend some experimental edge. Bragging rights here, I have seen Dijon live. I'm not totally familiar with Dijon, but I know enough to know that I like Dijon's music. And I will tell you right off the bat, the Dijon album, or the Dijon track, is a standout from the album. Another tidbit, or another, I guess, side effect of being, like I said, a healthy amount of chronically online is Drewski. Drewski is featured on this album a lot. In fact, Drewski is yapping. Drewski has multiple tracks where it's just him talking to Justin Bieber. And they don't make much sense to me, but they're fun. I was an active audience member for Drewski's Could Have Been Love. So, like, that's kind of my only familiarity with Drewski. But it was fun to hear a familiar voice. It was not necessarily needed levity, but welcomed levity. I love Yukon. Daisies I saved right away. Yukon, I spent most of that track trying to figure out who was singing. And I think ultimately I discovered it is Justin Bieber, ? Maybe pitched up, but I'm not totally sure. Go Baby made me laugh out loud. It's a good song. It is a good song. And I think there's enough tracks on this album that kind of healthfully address some of what people have been talking about online and on TikTok regarding the Bieber marriage, which again, I'm like not really going to dive into the drama, but I feel like there's enough seeds or like, I don't know, nuggets of, if you want to listen to the album and maybe gain insight into what has been going on in the Bieber marriage, I think you can. Also, I don't know, I read some article about Hailey Bieber's response to the album release, which was funny. Yeah, I don't totally follow Hailey Bieber's online presence, but every so often I get little sprinkles here and there from things, and I don't know her well or totally understand her MO. But I'm consistently amused, I think. So, I don't know. Butterflies, great track. Daisies, I would say, is probably my favorite from the album. All I Can Take roped me in immediately. That's track 1. I was pretty quickly won over and realized, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to lock in for the Bieber album. I'm clocking in to stand on business. So there is a YouTube comedian too who does just the most ridiculously accurate impression of Justin Bieber singing, and she uses it to her advantage and releases like speculative Justin Bieber songs. And I do want to shout her out too. I would be remiss not to. I think I have talked about it before because I sing Hey Yo Benny. That song gets stuck in my head at least twice a week. Where is she? But I'm bringing that up because the use of sound bites from Hope Godwin, I believe, is the TikTok comedian that I'm referencing. But the use of sound bites from viral moments from the recent Justin Bieber paparazzi clips, etc., across the album was really interesting to me. It's really interesting to me too how many of the songs feel like Chef's Kiss. Like the production on them is so good, and they feel like tracks that were a labor of love. And then there are other tracks where it actually is just Drewski and Justin talking, and then other tracks that feel like, okay, this is still at the voice memo stage, and it's sort of a mix of them all. And it doesn't not work for me. Like, it was fine. Like I said, thoroughly enjoyed listening to all of it. But it was interesting because, yeah, some of the tracks I feel very fleshed out, feel very well produced, are beautiful. And then others feel new or just sort of like thrown onto the album and released. No criticism there. I don't know. I guess that's just an observation and it may be inaccurate, but that is something I noticed and I will talk about. But yeah, Standing on Business, that's like actually, I don't know. Drewski plays a very active role in this album, I feel. And all of the Drewski tracks are very funny to me. Oh, hey. Did I not listen to Swag? I don't remember Swag, the titular track of the album, which is why I said I frankly don't understand why the album is called Swag. Well, the album is called Swag, it would be safe to assume, because track 18 is called Swag. So definitely going to circle back, listen to that one. Wasn't clocking in and Standing on Business enough, evidently. But yeah, I guess that's like my overall summary. Butterflies was an immediate save. Soulful is beautiful, and then Drewski is there and he has a lot to say. He's cracking me up. I don't know, him having any role in this album caught me so off guard. Maybe I just don't know enough about anything. But yeah, Dijon track I already mentioned is great. Okay, I think I'm just repeating myself at this point. I'm sorry. But one highlight of the album that I have to mention is in Go Baby. There's a line about like lip gloss on your phone, like that's my baby, which is just such a clear shout out to Hailey Bieber's Rode lip gloss phone case. Or it's like lip gloss on her phone case, and it's so on the nose. It made me laugh out loud. And I do think that's a little bit iconic. So those are my thoughts on the new Justin Bieber album. I really didn't expect to listen to it. I didn't expect to be recommending it, but I think I did both. I did listen to it and I do recommend it, I think. It was fun. A lot of music that I am going to listen to. Like often, probably. Really good music. Dijon, like I said, I know a little bit, but not too much. I would say the Dijon track is very Bon Iver-esque production-wise, which I think is common for Dijon. But, I mean, again, that is a mark of a great, I would say. Okay. Sorry, this has kind of been a meandering live stream. I'm going to wrap it up, but I hope you're having a great New Music Friday. Oh, I guess I will also just mention Conan Gray is releasing music right now in the lead up to new album Wishbone in 34 days. And the song Vodka Cranberry was released today as a single, and it's phenomenal. I really loved that song. Both songs that have come out as singles for this new album I have become obsessed with very quickly. So I'm really looking forward to the new Conan Gray album. And I did enjoy the new Justin Bieber album. So that's it. I hope you have a great Friday, safe weekend. I will talk to you all next week. Goodbye.